All right, good morning, cyber traders. Welcome on back here this Thursday, November 11th, 11/11. Make a wish, and along with that, allow me to first say Happy Veterans Day to all of us that have served, of course, our beautiful country. And made mention to this also for anyone outside of the U.S. that have served their own country themselves. Happy Veterans Day to yourself there. So great to see all of us live inside Cyber Group. Great to see all of us live on YouTube or Facebook Live. We got a lot to get into here today, folks. This morning's pre-market at least a little bit more exciting compared to yesterday's. And on top of that, we also had a bit of a drop on Bitcoin. If you followed me less than 12 hours ago or however long ago, it was 2:30 Eastern time yesterday. Well, I brought up, I thought that Bitcoin wasn't going to pull back as sharp. It did. We'll talk about that actually this afternoon. I'll do a small little snippet for Bitcoin there. But we'll talk about what's on the screen here to begin. The PPSI stock. The stock ended up making a huge move, not prior to 8 a.m., but right away after. I mean, it wasn't on our pre-market watch list, but as soon as 8 a.m. came along, the stock ended up popping, breaking new highs, came across our scanners, and from there, we've been calling it out. Ended up making a pretty nice pullback down towards 760, essentially broke under and over from 770, I think this line is here. 75, I think it is. But nonetheless, you could see where it built support, a double bottom, so to say, off 75, a higher low effectively at the same time, where it ended up building up pretty nicely here. So for right now, right out the gate, we'll put the PPSI, former runner from this week, back on our watch list. All right. So we ended up having a pretty decent pre-market, right? A couple of good opportunities that may continue once the market does open. So Ride, Lordstown Motors, some news came out on this stock from the after hours yesterday. We put it on our pre-market watch list going into 8 o'clock. It made a small little, little tiny move up. Nothing really too notable. But for right now, this stock is actually one of the more heavily shorted stocks across the entire market. So that could be a blessing in disguise, granted, if we happen to see a lot more buying or short covering when the market does open. The news out on Lordstown, this stock here is pretty lengthy, so I'm not going to read it word by word. Looks like they ended up entering into like some sort of asset purchase agreement. That's all basically I could sum up for you there. But for right now, hey, we're not going to trade this stock solely because of the news. We're only really going to jump into the stock if it could fit our strategy, if it could end up meeting our criteria. If this could pull back down to 6, make a slingshot from there, or right out the gate, if it pops over 650 and just flies. I mean, either way, the 50-cent levels and whole numbers are likely where you would find more, more icebergs, bigger orders altogether on the book. So the ride trade we'll definitely put on our watch list right now for the market open. SoFi, I think that their earnings related here this morning ended up seeing a big pop from the after hours yesterday from 20 up towards 23.75. Right now lingering around that price. So for the meantime, why not put this stock on our list? It's up 16% already, trading 3 million shares, and this stock also is pretty heavily shorted. Not as much as Ride. I think the short float on SoFi here is about like 24-25%, which is pretty big. That's pretty pretty heavy, but Ride's even more, I believe. So, for right now, SoFi will put on our watch list if the stars align and this ends up making a big move up after the open. Just look at the daily chart. It's a new IPO, obviously, from the end of last year. We were trading it back then. So, back from the beginning of this year, it seemingly hit its all time high. What is that? 20. Shoot, I can't get it. Ha! What is that? 28, 26. Yeah. Oh, there you go. $28.26. Perfect. 28.26. All right. So back from February 1st. All right. So 28.26 is the all-time high in SoFi. That's pretty funny. But yeah, I'll put this on our watch list for the market open as well. All right. Quick heads up on the PPSI stock. We'll go right from top to bottom after, but this just popped up on my level 4 right now as I'm showing it on my other screen. There's about a 23,000 share iceberg order on the ask. It's right there on the matrix at 835. So if this stock wants to continue moving up in pre-market, I mean, so long as this order is out there, it's got to break over 835 pretty hard. All right. So I'll tell you, there's a couple of other stocks that were on our pre-market list that will likely, put some spotlight on after the market does open. FOSL is still our top percent gainer right now. I'll tell you, this stock was just really disappointing in terms of the liquidity out there here in pre-market so far. It's not extremely surprising, but given the pop that we had from the after hours, I definitely would have expected a bit more. Let's see the news on this. I don't know if it's just earnings related or not. I believe it is, but Yeah, it looks like they ended up reporting better than expected quarter three sales results, raised also their guidance across the remaining parts of the year. So with that, I mean, hey, that's the bigger talking point usually for a trade coming off earnings. If they raise or lower guidance. So I think that's the bigger move, the bigger thing that allowed this stock to make the pop here. For right now, it's hard to not put this on our list, but I'll tell you, it's just pretty spotty. It's dropping off. It's hard to borrow. I don't know if you can get the shares to short it. So I'll come back to this if I need to. The order book is really thin. So if that's going to be the case after 9:30, I just rather focus on others. That's all. I don't know why I clicked on this. I didn't look at the price beforehand. So AFRM, big pop here, but for $164 stock. Unless if you're trading the calls on it, I wouldn't really be too keen. PPSI we talked about already. Open, another kind of disappointing trade, at least in pre-market so far. But this stock I will put on our list. This stock has kind of proved itself to us to be, a decent move. So you could see just going back, I think even here, the last few days, last week and a half rather, you could see the stock ended up making some big moves down, a big squeeze up. Over time, continued to drop off. See the news out on open here from the after hours yesterday. It might be earnings too. So just going to take a quick look. And, well, yep, that's it. Open ended up trading higher after the company reported better than expected quarter three EPS and sales results and issued quarter four sales guidance above estimates. So, all right, cool. We'll put this on our watch list. I like this one more than Fossil. I feel like the liquidity will be better after the open on this. All right. SOFI ride already on our watch list already. Both of those look pretty great. I'm gonna put those near the top if anything. CGen perhaps as well. CGen, I mean, first things first. If this stock fails to pop and make a big move up, it is shortable. So there's that. Otherwise, though, everything else checks out. Price, volume on the book. Not that great of a trend. It's like kind of range bound so far, but we'll see what happens after the open on this trade. Trader's dyslexia there messing me up on my notepad. All right, let's see what else we got. Oh, I skipped over Rewalk. RWLK. Yeah, kind of dropping off. This stock was also a big pop from earlier this week. Back on, if it wasn't Monday this week, then I'm losing track of my days. Then it was Friday last week, but ended up making a big move up in pre-market after the open. It continued, but then dumped all the way back down. So we're pretty familiar with this trade dropping back down right now. Listen, it's up 12+%. Again, it's hard for us to not put this on our list. I said that before on Fossil, but at least this one's a lot cheaper and again, good spreads and good volume out there on the books. So, I'll slip this near the bottom of our watch list so far. All right, going back to Root here, ROOT, it's up over 11%, 384,000 shares. It looks like just we have an active pre-market altogether. There could be a lot of stocks that kind of, resemble this year, up a decent amount, maybe down a decent amount, trading, 100,000+ shares, if not a lot more like this. So I kind of want to cherry pick, kind of like skim through these folks like HIMS right here, 272,000 up 9%. Charts look like crap, so definitely going to skip over this, but I'll kind of just like cherry pick the best looking ones right now. I don't know why I clicked on this. 461 shares total in pre-market. Geez. All right, let me hop over to the losers list before I start clicking on things I don't want to click on. How about this one? PSFE. We called this one out not only in the trading room but on our Telegram service. I know that Rich was all over that there, and we were here too live inside the trading room. It wasn't on the pre-market list, but again, after 8 o'clock, we found this stock beginning to drop off, and right before it ended up crashing, we had called out, hey, it's dropping off. We called out the short. So from there, it couldn't have worked out any better, as you could see. Not always the case for every stock, but this stock was shortable in pre-market, down already. So the stars aligned, and for right now, this stock looks really tradable heading into the open. Either way, the more it drops, then you wonder, like, when's this stock going to begin to squeeze and pop back up? Might not be for a while because it seems like the stock's at all-time lows. That's not good for the stock, but good for us as day traders. So yeah, definitely. I'm going to put this near the top of our list. Why not? With the ride trade, the SOFI PSFE. Got a new high of the day alert right now from Patrick and Mark. And Patrick again saying, I like PPSI. Two Patricks there. Yeah, nice pop. Broke over the 850 level like we were talking about. One or the other was going to happen, 8 or 850. All right, let's see what else we got here on the loser side, folks. Good call on the PPSI pop, though. Great teamwork on that. I'll tell you what. Just looking at the losers list right now, I'm like looking at really all the ones that are easy to borrow, unless if there's any that are hard to borrow, but down huge. Beyond Meat, took a huge hit, but albeit pretty expensive. So, we're not really going to focus on that much as like a stock to trade. If you want to trade the option on it, again, go ahead. But let's see what else we got. Disney down big off earnings. I saw that from the after hours yesterday. How about Prague down 9 to 10%? Just really flat for right now. Great side list stock, this Prague trade. So, we'll keep it on the side list for the meantime. From Zaytona, and this was from a little bit earlier, so I just want to jump back to YouTube chat right now as I'm going back to the chat boards. Zaytona was asking, what's going on with PSFE? All right, so that was prior to me going over it, but at least let me check the news. I don't know the news on this stock, so I'll give you that at least. And how about this? Keyword of the day is guidance. So PSFE shares trading lower after the company reported worse than expected quarter 3 results, and then they cut fiscal year 21 sales guidance below estimates. So it's the combination of both that crushed this trade. Let's check in on the SPY really fast. Do a little Bitcoin in the afternoon, like I'd said. Today's Thursday, but with the drop off that we had from yesterday, right after the market closed, I do want to cover that. So far right now, we're still in good terms. Right now, it bounced above my line, but SPY right now really flat, not really moving in any direction up or down either. All right, so folks, I'll tell you, I think that we're pretty much set. We got a good list. I mean, I really feel confident about this list altogether. We're not going to, find success on every single one of these, but given the activity so far in pre-market between all of these, I feel like, at least a few of these are going to make a really good move up or a really good move down, at least for us to capitalize on as a long or short, respectively. All right, but aside from that, I think that we're pretty much good to go. Current time is 9:12. Damn, this might be my shortest meeting ever, which is good. I want to have enough time for myself to prepare going into the market open. I want to make sure that we have enough time for all of our students like Ron and Norman, Grant, Lori, Mark, the Patricks, Leda, all of us otherwise inside our live trading room have enough time to prepare. So for all of us on YouTube or Facebook Live, I appreciate you sticking with me each and every morning. I was going to say each and every afternoon like I do in the afternoons. But again, I'll be doing the morning meeting for Fausto at least for tomorrow, and then he'll be back. He's in Vegas for the Money Show Trading Expo. So if you have any questions about Cyber Trading University, our strategy, any of our callouts live inside our room, feel more than free to send over a quick email. I just posted my email address right there in the stream. And then if you're ready to make the plunge, joining us live to continue the commentary after the market opens up, this morning, feel more than free to go right down to the link on the banner below of the stream there, cybertradinguniversity.com/trial, just to get yourself started. All right, so for all of us there right now, Grant, Patrick, Lori, etc., I look forward to talking to you folks coming up pretty shortly. Take care.